And if the case is indicted, that is when it becomes the appropriate time for a defendant to challenge a search warrant. Donald Trump's lawyers could file a motion at that point to suppress any evidence obtained in the warrant saying that there was no probable cause, for example, or that the search exceeded the scope of the warrant. That would be the place for that. So I imagine that at some point we may very well see an indictment in this case, but that won't be the end of it. Donald Trump will continue his game of delay, disrupt, deflect throughout the pendency of that case until it goes to trial.
Well, I want to ask you about that, Joyce. I mean, Barb just described it as a game of delay, deflect. I like to describe it as a Mary Poppins bag full of excuses that constantly seems to be pulling out of. Has he exhausted his delay tactics? I mean, what else could he do to delay at this point?
Someone who litigates in bad faith can always find something new to use to delay litigation. That's really part of the process. There's always, in a criminal case, a new motion you can file or an interlocutory appeal that you can try to take. Ultimately, it's up to the judges to enforce the rule of law. That's something that Judge Cannon, frankly, didn't do at all in those proceedings. The 11th Circuit and the Supreme Court have sort of righted that course. And if there is an indictment, as Barb points out, there will undoubtedly be effort by the former president to delay any prosecution, perhaps to try and get it far enough down the road that he believes he can control the outcome. And so it will be on the shoulders of the judges who draw the case, first the trial judge and then the appellate panel that hears the appeal if he's convicted, to make sure that he's treated like every other litigant in our system. There's no way that Trump should be above the law, and that's up to the judges to make certain of.
Okay, Barb, we have talked about the 1-6 committee. We've talked about DOJ. We've talked about this Mar-a-Lago case. I want to switch to the New York State case against Trump's businesses. This week, we learned that Trump's lawyers created another company just days before the New York AG filed a lawsuit against the Trump Organization. The AG says the Trump Organization, quote, now appears to be taking steps to restructure its business to avoid existing responsibilities under New York law, raising concerns that the business might shift assets out of state. I mean, what reasons could Trump's lawyers have for creating this organization?
Oh, this is a clear effort of an end run around their legal troubles in New York. If they can set up a Trump Organization Part 2 in a different state and move all the assets to that organization, the New York Attorney General has no jurisdiction there. They can thrive and thumb their nose at her. But I think one thing they might be daring her to do is to freeze those assets so that they can't be transferred out of state. So she has some cards to play here as well.